$20. That was the price she took, the price to shatter a man's dignity. But what she didn't know was that the man sitting across from her was not just any stranger. He was a self-made millionaire, carrying scars the world could not see. And instead of breaking him, her betrayal lit a fire that would change both of their lives forever. Before we start today's story, leave a comment below and let us know which city you're watching from. And at the end, don't forget to rate it from 0 to 10. Now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the story. She sat at the table, clutching the crisp bill in her pocket, her pulse hammering with guilt. Just embarrass him, they had told her. Ruin his date. Make him walk away. $20. That was all. $20 to wound the dignity of a man she had never met. Across from her sat Daniel, silent, calm, his posture straight but strangely fragile. His eyes were kind, though shadowed by something deeper, something no small cruelty could ever reach. At first glance, he seemed ordinary, a plain suit, no flashy watch, no boastful charm. But behind those steady eyes lived years of silent battles that no money could measure. Daniel had once worn a uniform, not a suit. Years ago, he had walked through dust and fire, carrying brothers who never came home. The worlds had moved on, forgetting their names, but he remembered every face. He carried their laughter, their last words, and the silence of their absence like weight upon his chest. He had built a company from nothing, working late nights where loneliness was his only companion. His fortune was not inherited, it was forged, brick by brick, with calloused hands and sleepless sacrifice. Yet no amount of wealth could erase the ache of memory, the unshakable reminder that true wealth is measured in people you can never bring back. Tonight, he sat in a restaurant not for business, but for something far rarer: hope. He had agreed to a blind date, not knowing the stranger across from him had been paid to mock him. She began as planned, interrupting him, rolling her eyes, pretending to be unimpressed. A cruel laugh slipped from her lips, echoing louder than she intended. Nearby tables glanced, then looked away, silent witnesses to the humiliation. But Daniel didn't flinch. He didn't raise his voice. He simply let the storm pass over him, his gaze steady, as though he had stood in darker places than this. In her mockery, he saw not an enemy, but a wounded soul. Someone who had accepted $20 because she believed she was worth no more. Dignity is not for sale, he thought silently. Not mine, not hers. The room grew colder with each cruel word. Bystanders whispered, but none spoke up. The weight of public silence pressed heavy, making the injustice burn sharper. Yet Daniel remained calm, his silence louder than her scorn. Then came the shift. She caught his eyes, truly saw him, and in them found no anger, only patience, compassion, and something unbreakable. Her voice faltered. The script she had been given unraveled. "Why aren't you fighting back?" she whispered, the words trembling. And Daniel finally spoke, his voice soft, steady as stone. "Because life has already taken more than your words ever could." Her throat tightened. The $20 in her pocket suddenly felt heavy, poisonous. Shame burned her cheeks as the truth of her act clawed at her chest. But Daniel's silence did something she never expected. It gave her the strength to confess. With tears stinging her eyes, she pushed the bill across the table. "I was paid to hurt you," she admitted. "And I thought it wouldn't matter. But you have shown me it matters more than I ever knew." Daniel looked at the bill, then at her. He didn't scold. He didn't condemn. He simply folded the money back into her palm and said the words that would never leave her heart. "What you do for money lasts a moment. What you do for dignity lasts forever." From that night, the story spread, not of a man humiliated, but of a man who answered betrayal with honor. The woman who came to ruin him became the one who stood beside him, not for wealth, but for the quiet strength she had seen that night. Respect is silent, and true strength never shouts. And when their love grew, it wasn't built on money, or appearances, or chance. It was built on the single night when silence spoke louder than cruelty, and compassion turned betrayal into redemption. And so, from a blind date meant to humiliate, arose a love story built on dignity and silent strength. It reminds us all that sometimes the greatest battles are fought not with anger, but with unshakable calm. Where are you watching this from today? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if this story touched your heart, make sure to subscribe for more stories that honor true silent heroes.